Good morning and welcome to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. Our focus this morning is on a community leader and the work that he's doing to make a difference in the community where we live. My first guest is no stranger to the show. 7th District Alderman Khalif Rainey was born and raised in Milwaukee, and he was elected to the Common Council in the general election last April, and a few of his campaign priorities were jobs, quality services, and safe neighborhoods. Alderman Rainey is here to address a few of those things today. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here as always. And there, of course, are a lot of concerns in the city of Milwaukee, but there's also a lot of positive things going on. So we'll talk a little bit about both sides of the track. Let's start off with the concerns.
Okay.
Every winter, our roads take a beating. You know, there's the freeze and the thaw and the salt and all of these things. And then by spring, we've got potholes everywhere, craters, some of them. And, you know, we have to really depend on the Department of Public Works to fix those as soon as possible. You've come up with a thought or a plan to kind of speed things up. Talk about that.
Well, I think it's evident that there's an inefficiency within the process of filling our potholes.
Yeah.
And that's evident by the potholes that myself and my neighbors drive over every day. So it's my hope that without spending any money, we can use what we have available to us to help us identify exactly where these potholes exist. So with those city employees who are traveling the city of Milwaukee streets on a daily basis, those being Department of Public Works employees, Milwaukee Water Work employees, Department of City Development, and others, if we require them to report back to the city the potholes that they're riding over, the ones that we're riding over, that give us an opportunity to transmit that information quickly and allow the city to respond within the 72 hours we're required. So that's my hope. The resolution will be coming before the Common Council in the near future, and I'm hoping my colleagues will be supportive.
Okay, so under normal circumstances, you guys pretty much wait on calls to come in to the pothole hotline, and then you fill them based upon those calls. But you're saying if everybody that kind of has that job with the city, you kind of take on the responsibility to let them know sooner.
Absolutely.
Than later.
And I think there's other ways we can engage the public, and collectively we all can help on this issue. We're discussing things such as creating a Facebook page that's solely dedicated to potholes. So if you live in a neighborhood where there's a pothole, you can come out with your camera phone, take a picture, tag the City of Milwaukee Facebook page along with an address, and then we can respond to that expeditiously as well. We're looking to create a hotline solely dedicated to potholes, perhaps 286-HOLE. Okay. You know, that would allow citizens to maneuver around some of those barriers that they face when contacting 286 City. So there's some opportunity, and I think there are ways we can improve the process and get some of these potholes filled quicker. Additionally, I'm asking the City of Milwaukee to explore some materials that's been researched by a UWM guy named Konstantin Sebalov. He's created a product that has 120-year life service, and it's water repellent. It's a water repellent cement, and that's something that we need to be considering. As opposed to the hot patch or the cold patch. If we could put something in there that has some staying power, I think that would be helpful as well.
I think that's a great idea, because I know when I'm driving, I see it coming and I cringe like, how big is this one going to be? And sometimes it's not as bad as you thought, and sometimes it's worse than you thought.
Indeed. So as of right now, if you are aware of any potholes in your neighborhood, please contact 286 City so we can have the City of Milwaukee respond to those concerns. Okay, and is there an app that's available as well? Yep. Okay. There's also an app, but you know, I myself, I'm faced with the challenges of determining exactly what app I need based on my data storage. So I think there's some ways that we can provide more opportunity for the public to get involved in this issue. Okay, that's good stuff. And I do want to give the Department of Public Works, big ups, because when we do get a foot or more of snow, they are on the case and they get those main roads cleared out, whereas other cities shut all the way down. So this is not something that you're saying like they're not doing a good job. You're saying you're just finding a way for them to get that job done quicker. Absolutely. Okay. Myself, my neighbors, we all greatly rely on the service that's provided by the DPW employees. I know they greatly value their work and take pride in the work that they do. So this isn't about besmirching the Department of Public Works. This is about simply identifying the inefficiency and looking at ways that we can explore improving it.
Yeah, and the last thing about the potholes, I mean, because the truth is by the time they get them all filled, it's going to get cold again.
Indeed.
And then you're looking at it's just like an ongoing issue.
Absolutely.
So it'll be interesting to see how this comes along. So thank you for sharing that. And I don't even want to say the word snow anytime soon.
Not yet. Not yet.
So on to some good news. Earlier this week, you hosted a town hall with the Milwaukee Bucks regarding job opportunities.
Absolutely.
And that's what people want to hear. They want to hear about jobs that are going to be available, that they are qualified to work. So how did that town hall go, and what were some of the things presented?
Well, the town hall was hosted at the YMCA in Parkline, and it was a great turnout. And I commend the Milwaukee Bucks for their leadership. They really are championing the concept of engaging everyone in the city of Milwaukee in the renaissance that's occurring downtown. There's a lot going on. You drive down there, the cranes are up, buildings are being sold, development is occurring. I want to ensure that the people that I represent in the 7th Automatic District had an opportunity to benefit from that as well. So that's what the job town hall was about. We had several members from the community come out and take advantage, and other members of the Common Council have hosted those town halls as well. And I believe that's just one element that will help us improve some of the employment climate here in the city.
And with jobs, you see a lot of the other issues kind of go away.
Absolutely.
So it all starts with those jobs. And like you said, the Milwaukee Bucks really are taking a hold of the word community and engaging and helping make a difference, which really means a lot, especially when you have everyone that's not only in the city of Milwaukee but surrounding areas that come out and support the team and really want to see great things happen. So another thing that they've done that I think is absolutely great to see come back is the midnight basketball.
Absolutely.
And the Bucks have partnered with you in making this happen as well.
Absolutely. The Milwaukee Bucks, the City of Milwaukee Common Council, Milwaukee Public Schools, and others. I began working on this idea when I was a county supervisor. I had heard some information that said crime had fell 30% when the Midnight Basketball League was implemented previously. So I began to explore it, and it took a few years to actually get it off the ground. But with the partnership between MPS and the Milwaukee Bucks, who, in addition to just exposing the community to opportunities, they've really been a champion for the business community. I think they've really demonstrated some leadership on how to address these issues and come to neighborhoods and really be a partner in making change. So I appreciate the Milwaukee Bucks for that. And the Midnight Basketball League, it's been more than just basketball. There's an enrichment program that's attached to it where young men have an opportunity to really improve the quality of their life through services that's offered through the league, such as GED completion, exposure to job opportunities. So we're not just playing basketball, we're kind of putting the medicine inside of the peanut butter and giving it to the youth, exposing them to some better things in the world.
All right, I like the sound of that. And we did have a representative from MPS to come on and share more about that when the Midnight Basketball program was getting off the ground. But now it is kind of in the mix and people are participating. How long will it go on?
Well, the one that just wrapped up at Bradley Tech was actually a pilot program.
Okay.
So right now they're actually accepting registration. If you go check out Google Midnight Basketball League, Milwaukee, and you'll find an opportunity for you to participate. I think this past session we had over 100 young men involved, and they were really excited about it. A lot of young men really felt that it improved the quality of life, and they wonder why hasn't this been happening all along. So I'm excited that I was the author of that policy and we made that happen.
Yep, I think it's good stuff. And the last time you were here was last summer, almost a year ago, and there was the unrest that happened in the Sherman Park neighborhood, which is part of your district. And we talked about what was taking place at that time. We also had the mayor on that show to give his thoughts, and here we are coming up on a year, and there is some good news because you had the BMO Harris Bank that was damaged during that disturbance in the area, and coming in the fall they're going to be opening a brand new building right across the street. So that's positive news.
Indeed, and I appreciate BMO for their leadership in our community. you know, at a opportunity where they could have fled the neighborhood, which could have potentially created a further decline to Sherman Park, they decided to stay and rebuild and invest in that neighborhood. And that means a lot. And I hope that that signals to the rest of Milwaukee that Sherman Park is viable. We have good neighbors, we have good, hard-working employees. And I think that hopefully through BMO Harris's commitment to the neighborhood, that will lead to a domino effect that causes others to come as well.
Yeah, it really did show a commitment to the people they serve in that neighborhood. Indeed. For them to stay and say, you know what, we're not even going to, you know, repair this. We're going to just build something new and put some great things in that building. So it's not just going to be the bank, it's going to be some other things within that whole facility as well. But first with BMO, this is going to be the first smart branch. Right. So what exactly does that mean?
So the smart branch will actually be across the street from what was previously BMO Harris Bank. The smart branch will be a state-of-the-art bank where you could pull up, it's all touch tone and touch screen activations. And I think that is something that will be convenient for all of those who not only live in Sherman Park, but travel the Fond du Lac corridor. But within that space where BMO Harris Bank previously existed, they're actually doing visioning sessions right now with the likes of the Juice Kitchen and several other nonprofits who actually could occupy that space and help change the narrative of the neighborhood as well.
Good stuff. I mean, you really do have a lot of good news to share in the wake of sometimes us hearing about so many negative things in the city. There are a lot of great things taking place, and BMO's announced their plans to donate over $4 million to neighborhood programs as they celebrate their 200th year in business. And to say that's a milestone is putting it lightly. So you've got organizations like the United Way of Greater Milwaukee, the United Performing Arts Fund, and the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Milwaukee that will benefit from that donation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So speaking of the Boys and Girls Clubs, you've got the Sherman Park Boys and Girls Club that has a lot of new things to offer to all of its occupants as well. So, I mean, big things happening in Sherman Park, right?
You know, when we discuss Sherman Park, we talk about the bricks and mortar of Sherman Park. You know, we talk about the rebuilding of, you know, the gas station, the rebuilding of the bank, and much of that has been completed or is already scheduled to be completed. You know, what I'm encouraging the community to consider is those intangible things that need to be restored, such as the morale of the people who live in Sherman Park, such as the relationship between police officers and the community in Sherman Park and the city in general. So the bricks and mortar piece is there, but there is still yet work to be done. So we're continuously working on it and making sure that, you know, we can figure out how we can assist in the approval and the improvement of Sherman Park.
All right, well, that's a great way for us to wrap up this segment, and I'd love for you to stick around so we can talk about a few more things that are important, not only in your district, but for the city of Milwaukee as a whole. So
I would love to. Thank you.
Stay right there. Thank you so much. We'll talk more and continue our conversation with Alderman Khalif Rainey, who, of course, is the alderman for Milwaukee 7th District, and you can reach his office by calling 414-286-2221. We'll be right back after this.